All right.
Hey, hey,
So as we
hey.
go back into the beginning, I'm getting Okay. No. See, the singing always
Nope.
comes back. All right.
But I was like grooving with it too, though. Like, all right, I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. One more time. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. You are listening to the Whistledown Wine Down with Krystal and Mara, a podcast dedicated to our favorite show, Bridgerton, from Shondaland Media, streaming on Netflix. Me, I'm Krystal, a wannabe librarian who loves to get lost in a story, and a Shonda stan who constantly asks, does this make me a bad feminist? I love a good romance novel, but thought Regency era fictions were my own guilty pleasure. I now know better.
Oh, hi, Krystal. I'm Mara, a lover of British period dramas and a huge Jane Austen fan. It, if I could put myself anywhere, it would be in the writer's room at Shondaland to watch the magic happen. I didn't know there were others like me that enjoyed reading historical romance novels. I feel like now I have found my people. All right, Krystal, you ready to get into this? Take two.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. So today we're talking about Bridgerton, season 2, episode 6, The Choice. Dun dun dun. So grab a glass of wine, tea, or another favorite beverage, and let's get into it.
Cheers.
Yay. I'll be honest with you. We can keep cheersing the whole night through. I'm ready to go. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this quick bread. All right, y'all. Krystal, what just happened?
Ay.
I think the alcohol hit. Krystal, what just happened? Like, seriously, when the queen said this was going to be a wedding the ton was going to talk about, I didn't think she thought all this was going to be going down. We had Edwina stopping the wedding in the middle of the wedding. We had Edwina doing a polite cuss out to Kate and a polite cuss out to Anthony.
Not a polite cuss out. Go ahead.
A polite cuss out. Okay. And then through all of this, Edwina seems to save the day during a very intimate moment between the Queen and King George. But man, is the ton going to be talking about this wedding, girl. Anyways, moving on. Eloise doesn't know how to listen to nobody, and Penelope has way too many secrets to manage. The Featherington web of deception has been casted amongst the ton, and our poor Colin looks like he is going to be all caught up. Edwina finds her voice. Kate and Anthony are finally honest about their feelings, and they show it. Yay! Fireworks in the background, y'all. Fireworks everywhere. Love it, love it, love it. And we are ranking our anticipation moments from episode 1 to episode 6. So let's go ahead and get into it, Krystal, because man, there's so much to talk about.
Ooh, baby. I think as we get ready to go, before we can jump into past the scones, I feel like we have to go back to the end of episode 5 because we didn't get a chance to talk about this. And the fact that the decision that was made was you cannot not marry my sister. Right? Because I think there's
break it down
that we have to remember where we're coming from in the context of this episode is that at the end of episode 5, Anthony was like, okay, I'm going to talk to you today. We're going to break it off. Like, we don't have to do this. And she was like, oh no, you have to marry my sister. And to be honest, I'm still confused. I really am. I'm still sorry. Hit the mic. That's how confused I am. Why? Why did she do that? That's my question. We can probably we can hold it for up to snuff, but that honestly is my question. Is like, why did she tell him to still marry her sister? Why? Like, it bothered me. Like, I'm watching the beginning of the episode thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute, look at all this that's going on. Kate.
Notes.
We got notes. Okay, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. So I want you to keep that context though as we talk about the rest of this episode. But let's just remember that Kate specifically asked Anthony to go through with this wedding. Okay, just wanted to frame that up for everybody. All right, let's get into it. Pass the scones.
All right, girl, let's go ahead. Cheers. Let's pass the scones.
Cheers. Quack, 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 quack,
quack. Oh my goodness.
I can hit you with the first one for me. And this was not related to the wedding. But this was the planning stages as the Featheringtons are going into full force. It's funny how much alike they all are. Isn't that interesting? I don't know if anybody notices. I was like, all the Featheringtons. And Lady Featherington married into the Featheringtons. I'm just like, you got the right one. Okay, so the best part, or one of my favorite parts of this episode, had to be when our darling Farley is in the back listening to all the conversations, and when Cousin Jack says something smart to, or I said maybe saucy, maybe he said something a little saucy to Lady Featherington. Please believe that Farley coughed. Like, Farley's reaction was what we did. Like, if you're when you're listening, you were like, oh, we're like, what did he just say? But Farley's the one that's there for you. Be like, I heard it, girl.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Look, the minute I saw Farley cough too, I was like, oh, Farley caught that side comment too. Producer! Okay, enough. Hi, producer. She's back with us. We're back on track, y'all.
Okay, in true production format, I have a niece that's trying to get into the booth right now. Oh, Lord.
Look, girl, this is going to be the best episode ever. Let's go ahead and keep going.
This is real.
Look. Okay, so can I go ahead? So let me go ahead and say my little thing that I loved about it. You know, we'll go back and forth. I love the Queen's hairstyle. I love what the stylists were doing with the natural. So they started off with the natural, and then they weaved in the rest of her crown. I loved it. I mean, every scene, every outfit was on point. It felt au natural. Easy transitions for each outfit with each hairdo up. I loved it.
Nice.
I just loved it. I don't know what did you think?
All of the looks. So it's funny because as I'm thinking about the looks, I'm thinking about another favorite moment. And if you remember me from season 1, you know that I love me a good slow motion video, like a slow motion like moment. And so the run out scene from the wedding when Mother Mary, she bothered me this season. Anyway, when Mother Mary was running out after Edwina, when they slowed down, just like the skirts, like the gorgeous dresses, just kind of like flowing down the aisle. And then you see like the flowers that were on the side are like being rustled by the wind. I loved that scene. And I always ask the question, like, who thought this up? Who was the one that in edits was like, they were like, slow it down. Like, I loved the like moment. And then obviously the layering of the music on top of it, like just top notch. So, but yes, like just everything was just so beautiful. I love Kate's palette also. And so I think
yes. Oh my God, her eyeshadow, everything was just so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh God, yes.
So yeah, the look in this episode was like it hit. Everything hit perfectly. Loved it.
Edwina looked gorgeous. Like I feel Lady Mary, Edwina, Kate, all of them 10 out of 10 with the color, with the tones. I loved everything. Oh yes.
Yes. Did you have another favorite moment?
Okay, so I'll be honest with you. I'm just loving Theo and Eloise. Like, the really cute way, and I love the close-up zoom on Theo when he's giving Eloise the books, because he's been thinking about her too, like off to the side. And he's been thinking about like, oh, I would love to talk to Eloise about what I read. And it's like, it's just this carefree, like, yeah, well, I've been thinking about you too. And just, I was like, look at you, Theo, and your eyes are so beautiful. I'm like, oh, you look so cute.
They were, yes. Oh, they were such a darling couple.
I was loving that.
Let me not call them a couple. I feel like that was.
I know. Don't you wait for? Well, first of all, we don't know what season 3. Look, I knock on wood because I'm hoping he comes back. I think I talked about my predictions the last 2 video episode snippets. Like, just watch and see. But wait, though, I have to bring up this other moment. It really is the moment that I started like laughing out loud. Mm-hmm. So this is after everything has went down for the wedding. It's the Queen and Lady Danbury. And the Queen is, I mean, poor Lady Danbury. Let me tell you something. No good deed goes unpunished. Woo! Okay? Lady Danbury was catching it from Mama Bridgerton, couldn't come with a comeback. The Queen, Lady Danbury caught it from the Queen, couldn't catch a comeback at all. Poor Lady Danbury. And I was just like, oh, hang in there, sis. The Queen tells Lady Danbury, well, you got to fix this mess, because if it wasn't for you, I would have never thought of Edwina as the diamond of the season, which isn't fair, because the Queen, like, she's doing a whole escape route. Like, let's be real. Like, she's taking her privilege and be like, nah, this ain't on me, sis, it's on you. But technically, it's also on you, because you weren't feeling anybody during that reception. And you were gently guided in a direction and you ran for that direction. Don't sit up here like you be having schemes on schemes, but someone somehow convinced you to choose Edwina. Like, come on, let's just relax. Let's just stay calm. But either way, the Queen says what she said, and we going to all just sit with it and be humble about it. So Lady Danbury sat with it and was humble with it. But this scene that I love the most, that I think represents sisterhood so much, is between Lady Danbury and Mama Bridgerton. Mm-hmm. And Mama Bridgerton comes, sees where Lady Danbury is, and you can kind of see they're kind of doing that, that friendship makeup, say I'm sorry, but don't say I'm sorry type thing, because you guys both know that, well, maybe I might have overreacted, or maybe I should have told you more than what I knew, that type of thing. And the pure joy of sisterly laughter that came out of them when Lady Danbury said, oh yeah, and by the way, the Queen told me to fix all this. Honey, I started busting out laughing with all 3 of them. If I was in Lady Danbury's shoes, girl, I would not know how to work myself out of this can of peaches, because I'm just like, it ain't working for me. Yeah. It's not working for, like, how am I supposed to fix this?
I will say the first time I saw the scene, I didn't understand what was so funny. Because I think for me, I was like, wait, what? I'm like, why are they laughing? Like, I knew why, but I wasn't, like, the transition into the laughter for me was really like confusing. I'm like, how did we get here? But I think when you really underscore their relationship, their understanding of each other, and this, like, the recognition of, they both knew this entire time, or correction, because Lady Bridgerton or Mama Bridgerton suspected it, but it wasn't confirmed until that day. But it's the fact that both of them had the knowledge that, like, this is a sham. I can't wait to get into this enough to snap.
A sham, girl.
And so I think if you layer that piece onto it, about, like, layer onto the fact that we knew something was wrong, and we also know that the reason why this isn't working is because it's not supposed to work. And so when you put that into the question of, like, the Queen wants me to fix this, it's just like, this is not fixable. this is the unthinkable fate, right? Like,
yes. Unthinkable fate. Like, how do you fix this?
Yeah.
And really, and I think the episode did this really well. The only person or persons that can fix it are the 3 persons that are at the center of all of this. And it is a shame that it had to fall on Edwina to fix it. It's just not fair because Edwina should not even have been put in this situation. But Kate and Anthony, with their duty on their shoulder badge, like a bunch of Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. Oh, I'm doing this for my family. No, y'all not.
I'm a Girl Scout. Go ahead. I said, hold on, don't come for us.
No, I'm coming for y'all because you know what? Y'all don't have a humble pie. Y'all don't have a humble pie badge. No one just said, think about it. I don't see no humble pie.
We have a baking badge.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and give you some ingredients and hopefully you can bake your way out of this hot mess because this was too much. Okay, and wait a minute, because I know we're watching time, but can we talk about the scene where Anthony and Kate are caught up in they're caught up in the closet, which is the irony because that's all they've been doing this whole time is being up in the closet with each other. But they're in that storage closet, and Anthony, grabs, Kate's hand, like this whole dramatic, like, oh, I gotta go, run away thing. I love it. But he's like literally grabbing her hand. He's just like, wait, right? And he's just, just with these loving eyes, these passionate eyes, eyes that he can only show Kate because he ain't going to show that to Edwina. And Edwina called him out on it, and he couldn't say nothing. He couldn't say anything. But the part that kills me the most is I'm like, hold on, you went into that room to tell Kate to go talk to her sister to fix this so that Edwina doesn't ruin her life. And then 2 seconds later, you're like overcome with emotion, holding her hand. And it's kind of like, I wanted to ask Anthony in that moment, I'm like, bruh, what were you really thinking at that moment? Like, okay, one part of you is like, okay, let's go ahead and marry the sister out of duty. But then you trying to get with Kate and have her as your concubine, like as your mistress. Like
he didn't say none of that. No, Mom.
It's all in the look. It's all in the look.
No.
All in the look.
That was just the thread.
Stop.
That was the thread.
Stop. It's all in the look.
It's the thread.
How do you walk into the closet, the furniture closet, saying one thing, and then you up there trying to grab her hand and damn near kiss her, and she walking out? Nah, Anthony, what you doing? You messy.
He is messy. Yes. But the reality is his duty comes before all else. And so for him, he's willing to do his duty to not help ruin Edwina's life, quote unquote. And he's willing to live an unhappy marriage because that's the practical way to live as the Viscount with his Viscountess. And at the same time, he does not know what to do with himself when he's next to Kate. All he needs to do is go like right this, and they'd be like, oh. That's more a mess.
Wait.
It's the duty part, honestly.
So, okay, let's talk about the duty part and the unhappy marriage. So the scene opens up with a Indian premarital ritual. And I'm not familiar with the name, so please do not butcher me in the comments.
To be fair, neither of us is fully fluent in this ritual. But my understanding is it's called haldi, and that's haldi when they use, and that's when they're using the turmeric water and something else to make the paste, essentially.
Yes. Okay.
And based on the internet, because obviously I don't have a my personal professional cultural specialist to talk to, but that they said that it's usually the married women that will put it onto both the husband and the bride to be and the husband to be, and they'll.
Oh, so Anthony technically was supposed to be part of that ritual.
Yeah, and so when she says I wish he was here, and then Kate's like, he must have he has his own traditions, is what she says, because I think he was part of Edwina's concern. But they said it's known to, and this is according to, I don't even know why, I don't know if this is the right source to use, so nobody judge me. But according to food, to ndtv.com, they said that haldi is known to purify and cleanse the body of the couple entering into holy matrimony.
How beautiful is that?
Yeah, but it also, like, if you think about it, the person that was cleansed was Edwina, who probably didn't need any cleansing.
Kate and Anthony did. But anyways,
yes,
back to wait.
Yes, continue. But yeah, that was actually my other favorite from the episode.
Well, I want you to talk about that a little bit more because that's on your favorite list. But I think where I want to kind of bring it up is Edwina is literally telling Kate and Lady Mary that she's in love with Anthony, that she's got all this love for him. Why isn't anybody shaking this girl and saying, okay, like, you know, this man don't love you. He's told you that he's marrying you out of duty, out of responsibility to his family. Like, no one is stopping this.
You mean after she runs out?
No, I'm talking about during the pre-wedding ritual. Edwina's literally saying that she's in love with Anthony. And Lady Mary and Kate.
Question. Hold on, let me put this down for up to snuff. I have a question that's coming up from that, but
yeah, because Lady Mary and Kate keep referencing, oh, he will eventually have this for you, or he has made his intentions known. But his intentions have always been, well, I will provide for you.
His intention is to marry.
My intention is to marry, have a viscountess to help me manage my. Like, he even had a one-on-one conversation with Edwina saying, oh, by the way, I'm going to be away from my family 80-90% of the time. So, and Edwina was like, okay, I'll find, I like reading books. I find things to keep me preoccupied. And I'm just like, Edwina, like, you ever started talking to somebody and the responses to their questions were all red flags, but you still kept talking to them afterwards?
Well, I don't think it's a red flag, that one.
Yes, it was a red flag.
In that time, I think it was normal for you to stay in the house and your husband was out with the business. And so your job was to maintain the household.
But if Edwina is being true to herself and being true about her feelings about what she wants, and Anthony is throwing up 3 or 4 red flags left and right. Think about it. He's out of the 5 things she wants, he's throwing up 3 red flags. He's not guaranteeing love. He's not guaranteeing love, but he is going to guarantee a position. He's going to hopefully guarantee children, and he's going to guarantee companionship, not love. Companionship, because he even says it. He says, well, I'm looking for someone to, basically walk, walk through these life challenges with. He never mentions love in his speech when he's talking to Edwina. When Edwina's in her bridal suite and Anthony visits her after she had cut off the wedding, he never mentions love. And I'm just like,
he said, she asked him directly and he says, I understand you. She said, she said, you love me because you love me. And he says, I understand you. I was like, ooh. So wait, jumping back to the traditions piece that was added into this, included in this episode. I think from a cultural perspective, I was very excited to see that representation in the storyline. It's not, obviously, if you're not, like, I appreciate both that they don't explain it, right? Like, it's not like there's a like, oh, we must do this to purify you before you, like, it wasn't one of those things. It was just like, this is included in here. And so if you're familiar with it, you're familiar with it. Granted, the most that I know is based on what I've seen at other weddings and on Netflix's The Big Day. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, where they have like the big. It's really good. The Big Day. It's like these grand Indian weddings, and they talk about they have like the is it Mendi or Mehendi, which is the one where everybody gets the henna on like their I guess
on the hand. Yeah.
and then
I've heard of those. Yeah.
then there's like the party. There's like I guess like the party the night before. Actually, let me act like I know, but go watch it. Obviously on Netflix,
Okay.
called The Big Day. But I remember watching a ton of those episodes when they had part one, part two. And so using that as like reference points, I'm like, oh yeah, like that. I'm like, I know that they have to go around the circle and like they have to kick the pot of rice. Like I'm like there's a bunch of like little things that I've seen in places, but you don't normally see them outside of a specific show that's about Indian weddings, big day Indian weddings. And so it was nice to have it show up in this setting where it's like, the cultural piece is being included. I don't know how like well received it was, obviously within like the Indian community, but I do hope that they felt like seen in a way with it. But I really did appreciate like my excitement was just like, I'm like even me, I was just like, I know that turmeric.
I know. I saw that too. I was like, oh yeah, absolutely.
I was like, oh, I know what's happening. Like, I'm like, not really, but kind of. And I'm just like, oh my God. For me, it helped me feel seen because it's just like, it's inclusive of like cultural norms that are your own, right? Or that's culturally yours. It's not culturally mine, but I just felt seen in that it's just something outside of the whitewashed culture that we normally get. So I really appreciate the fact that they had it. It was small. Like it wasn't like, obviously it doesn't compare to what it would be like on because everybody attends really, but it kind of like points out again how small their family is, right? Mary only has her daughters. That's it. And then Kate only has her stepmom. Edwina only has her mom and her sister. Like that's all they have. That is their entire family. And so I think it helps kind of like put into perspective, like their little unit is it, like that's who they have for everything. And so it kind of just like underscores like the family sentiment, and then also the cultural piece of like they didn't forget these things, and they kind of brought their they didn't lose that culture when they came to London in search of a husband.
Husband, girl. No, absolutely. And I just mimic your sentiments. I thought that it was beautiful. I love the scene. The mother, daughter, sisterly affection between all three of them was beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, makes you feel all good inside.
Nice. I'm almost 100% sure that we are not on time. However, do you have more favorites?
Just a couple throwaways. The way that the Bridgerton family can drink like fishes, it just boggles the mind. And Edwina didn't have not one drink during this whole ordeal, and I don't understand why she didn't. So that's a throwaway because I was just like, oh, that's too much. Let's see. And
you tax them straight on. Go ahead, Edwina.
Penelope, like I feel like Penelope getting messy for no reason.
Just now, just this episode.
Yes.
Penelope has been messy.
I'm still Penelope, so I don't care. Look, I'm like this. Penelope can
you
do
got
no
the
wrong.
blinders on? She's like,
I got the black. Fine. Nope. Penelope, fine. She good. But one of the things I had noticed was how many scandals can a family take? So in season 1, would you consider Daphne and Simon a scandal? Would you say that
they covered it up before it could become
okay. So Colin and Marina, Kate and Anthony, and then there's going to be like one more scandal at the end of this season. So this Bridgerton fam, like how many scandals can one family hit in like what at one time? But we got to have some drama with our favorite family so that we see how they persevere. Okay.
That's fair.
And what is everyone's fascination with the damn peacock? No, it cannot fly. It had, wait, the guy was like, well, no, the peacock can't fly, but I can put him up on a pedestal and he can just glide down. That just tickled me. The queen was like, well, as long as you can do the same thing too. And I was like, girl, did you just tell him to jump off a roof? I was like, okay.
She was not playing about this wedding. She's like, don't embarrass me.
And let
He's
me
like,
see.
man, this is a peacock. I can't make the peacock fly. Like,
and and I do want to note that during the very climactic scene where Edwina calls off the wedding, and it's like right before she's like dashing out, I had to do a couple rewinds to see the reaction from the gallery. So as this moment is unfolding, Daphne looked like a deer with the headlights at her. Mama Bridgerton knows, like, she's disgusted. She's just like, oh no, I saw that. But Lady Mary, she knows what she saw. She's seen that look before. She knew it, and I think she was playing dumb when she ran after Edwina and they went back to the bridal suite. She saw that look. Like, that was, and then Lady Danbury, let me tell you something. I will go play cards with Lady Danbury any day of the week and twice on Sunday because she keeps a poker face. Even though she knew everything. Her expression did not change. Chef's kiss. Go ahead, Lady Danbury. Because look, I'll ride out with I can clearly trust Lady Danbury with my secrets because she ain't gonna snitch. Lady Danbury ain't no snitch.
okay.
So I'll go play cards with her. I'll play spades with her. She's good.
Understood. Okay, yes, ma'am. Wow. I want to go back now and relook at the exits, like the faces as everyone was exiting. Yeah, I did see Daphne, and that's actually what we're gonna talk about it. So if you're ready, you want to move up to snuff.
I'm ready. Let's go ahead. Let's move up to snuff. Cheers.
Look at this. Look at this. I gotta like do one of these things so you can kind of. It's fine.
I know, because the only thing we see is like your hand just kind of like,
your hand like disappears. It's the glass. Da-da-da-da. There's liquid in there. It's fine. I have that in the teacup for. Anyhow, up to snuff.
Oh, wait. Before we go, do we want to do the anticipation moments now, or we just do it after up to snuff?
Let's do it because we finally get to the end at this point. So I would love to get your rankings for these. So wait, let's list them out. If you can like lay them out again. What are I think there were 6 of them. I keep getting the remote.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. All right. And I'm going to try and put them in order in how we saw them. Okay. So first one was the shooting scene where Anthony is helping Kate hold the English rifle appropriately. The library scene, the nighttime library scene at Aubrey Hall. And wait, though, you know what? There's 7. You know why? We forgot the other one. So there's the library scene at Aubrey Hall, the one where Anthony thought that he had left the candle lit. Okay.
Yeah, and the storm.
The other one is the library scene where our 2 lovebirds almost kiss and Daphne walks in on them.
Okay. And there are a lot of these. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. At night during rainstorm. So we'll name one rainstorm. And then we'll say the other one, library scene, nighttime. Daphne walked in and caught them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We also have the bee scene. Remember the intensive bee scene where Anthony is like darn near having a panic attack because he saw that Kate was stung by a bee and he thought that she was gonna die, like right in front of him. Poor baby. All right. We have our day room daytime scene. This is the scene where Anthony and Kate are talking, and Kate has the wedding ring on her finger because she's sizing it she's sizing it, to help out Kate and Edwina to see if the ring needs to be sized. And then there's the day room nighttime scene when Anthony is like basically professing this like burning desire inside him for Kate, where he is like, you are the object of my desire. I want to be the object of someone's desire. Damn. It'll happen, y'all. It'll happen.
Amen.
So those are the scenes. And then the last one, the closet scene, which was the wedding scene.
Okay.
And
we want to put these into like, we're ranking this in which way?
Hold on. Okay, so our climactic scene is the kiss that happened during this episode. Okay. And so what we want to do is rate the anticipation scenes that got us to this point. Okay. So, but either way, it's our favorite, anticipation scenes. So we have 7 scenes. So let's start off easy. Which one is your least favorite anticipation
least
scene?
Favorite.
The least favorite, the one that's ground level. So that's number 7. Which one would you say is number 7? Now remember, we do it. We have to watch time now, Krystal. We got to watch the time.
Okay, let's get it together. Okay, I'm gonna go with the B. Bee in the garden, panic attack. That had to be my least favorite, only because I was like, part of me was like, what is the matter with y'all, both of you? Like, what is happening right now? Like, I understood Anthony was having a moment. I understood that, but also, yeah.
So Krystal, that's interesting you say that because I'm gonna say it's the closet scene from this episode. Even though so much has passed through them, I appreciate him like grabbing her hand before it was just too messy. It's just too messy.
Oh, because you're thinking about the fact that he just came from Edwina and now you're over here talking about wait.
Thank you. It's just too much. That's at the bottom. It's at the bottom.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Okay. So okay.
Okay.
All right. So the next one, let's see. So I would say for me.
Okay, go ahead. What's your next one?
I would say for me. Okay, because now I'm kind of caught between these 2 scenes. Give me a second. Hold on. Which one do I like more? The next one for me is the shooting scene because it started off awkward and then got really good at the end. And I didn't like that awkwardness. Which one is yours?
So I'm going back right now. 6. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Nope, that's not it. I'm gonna say this is the next one. The next one up after like my first one. I'm gonna go with Krystal, be smart, be quick about it. I'm gonna go with the Daphne catching them almost kissing in the
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
The reason being, yeah, I think I got my order down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. So the reason being is like I didn't it kind of almost happened, but I think it's just the fact for me, it's just the fact that in that scene, it was Daphne kind of like, like she was. I think it's just in that scene. It was more so, it was less about them almost kissing for me and more about the fact that Daphne was just like, okay. Because Daphne already suspected something, right? Because in the beginning of that scene, she meets him, she walked straight to Kate and said, "You must be Edwina." And she's like, "Oh no," because who did he go to first? He went straight to Kate. Therefore, Daphne is not wrong. So I'm gonna say, from an anticipation standpoint, my number 2 goes to Daphne.
That's a strong one.
Mm-hmm. All right, what'd you go next? I got a little scale right on my paper. Wrote it down. What you got?
Yeah, no. I'm doing the same thing over here. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and say the B scene. So the B scene for me, because it's carrying a little bit more weight, because for a woman to take a man's hand that is not your husband's hand and put it on your bosom, like it's half clothes, half cloth, half skin.
True.
And you did that. I'm like, girl, that is spicy.
Ooh.
Spicy. So that's why I have that one ranked at the next slot, because I was like, ooh.
Got it. Mine is the shooting scene at this point. And primarily for the fact that they're close to each other, and now they're like, oh my God. And also, part of me is just like, I ain't never seen y'all put on no cologne or perfume, but y'all must be really enjoying each other's sex today.
You cracked me up. Okay. Let's see.
All right, what comes next?
Okay. Here we go.
You still thinking about it? I can tell you mine if you want to think about yours.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
So mine, after the shooting scene, is the closet scene post-wedding, because I just love the fact that I love the way that he was like, wait.
Yeah.
I think I was going on, but wait. Oh my goodness. I really appreciated it, because it's kind of like he don't know, like he's kind of like, oh wait, like don't leave the moment, stay right here, stay with me. I liked it.
God,
I liked it because Anthony's at that point where he's trying to like do his duty, but it's getting harder and harder. And I really appreciate that in this moment, he's like, wait, like don't break it. Like, hold on, like stay in this moment with me. Like we like in this space, safe right here. Like we could talk about it right here.
You know what? Because if you think about it, Kate did the same thing when they were at the altar towards the end of this episode. She was just like, let's just wait in this moment. I see the connection you put there. I'm so, look, girl. Okay, let me go ahead and get with mine. Let me go ahead and put mine. Okay. Okay, so the next one I'm going to put is, I'm going to go ahead and say the library scene at Aubrey Hall with the rainstorm. The rainstorm when Anthony thinks that he accidentally left on a candle, and Kate can't sleep. Oh, poor Kate can't sleep during rainstorms, girl. Can't sleep during rainstorms, poor thing.
Yes, actually, that's my next one after the clouds.
Okay. All right, hold on.
I really appreciated like the sweet sentiment of it, of just like they're both up late, they both can't sleep, and they keep finding their way to each other. It's the other part of this.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, so then, all right, so So that's your number 3. All right. So I got to do my next number 3. Because we are.
No, that's my. Okay, you're going up.
Yeah. Okay. So, because right now I've got like a 3-way tie going on, but
Oof.
I guess, of course, I think the most fitting one for me then is going to be the daytime scene of the fitting of the ring.
Mm-hmm. I think that one for me has to be more so about the weather. When he asked her about the weather, and Kate's really asking me about the weather, like I really appreciated that scene for the realness of it, because that was very clear. Like, I'm gonna ask you about something that's like so nonchalant, that has nothing to do with the fact that like we're pretending very strongly in this moment. No, thank you.
All right, girl. Oh my goodness. Ooh, it's tough. And I feel like I think you and I are caught in the same web. Okay. And this is why I just appreciate you. Can I just take a moment and appreciate you? Because even though you and I, we started off like on different like beginnings, we're literally literally stuck with the 2 scenes that are like top 2. Right?
We have this. I'm almost sure we have the same top 2. The same top. No, we have the same top 1.
We might have the same top 1.
My second place is the day room betrothal scene, the betrothal ring, and the weather. That's my number 2.
Okay, hold on. So yours is the day room, nighttime, object of my desire.
That's my number 1.
So then which one are you talking about?
My number 2?
You talking about the one where Daphne almost caught them?
No, that's my number 6.
Oh, no. Okay, never mind. So you and I are not in the same thing then. Okay, so hold on. So your number 2 is which one now?
My number 2 is the day room, daytime.
Day room, daytime. What? The fitting of the ring?
Yes.
Oh, my bad. I went too far now.
Because that was your number 3, right?
That was my number 3. Okay. So for me, this one's hard.
Dun, dun, dun.
But you know what though? I'm gonna say library scene where Daphne almost catches them.
That's your number 2?
That's my number 2, girl. That's my number 2.
They get pretty close.
Whoo. I mean, when I tell you, when he was just like, "Tell me you don't want me," I said, "Oh God, I will never tell you that."
Ooh. That's a very solid line.
Solid. And look, he was like right here. Like this area is a danger zone. You see what I'm saying with women?
Yes.
Very.
This is a
yes.
jugular.
Like right here. Am I pointing to the area? Okay, like right here is the most danger zone of most women. Danger zone.
Yeah.
Danger. Like you don't. Nope. Don't you do that.
In every vampire movie, that's your neck right there.
This is what I'm saying. It's access to the heart. It's access to the heart, girl.
Yeah, but it looks like our number 1s are consistent.
Go ahead and say it, girl. Go ahead and say it.
You are the bane of my existence and the object of all my desires. I told my mom that line. I said, you know what he said? She goes, ooh.
That is the one. That is the one. Because we sure did. We came to the right one. Ooh, okay. So I am so happy we did this. And for anybody listening or watching, please put it in the comments. What was your number 1 anticipation moment between Kate and Anthony this season. And as you can see, Krystal and Mara, we are in sync. We here. We here. we may have started differently, but we ended up right here. Right here. So thanks everybody for playing along. Thank you, Krystal, for playing along.
Yeah. All right. So I'm happy we got through some anticipation and us rankings. But there are some questions to talk about this episode. So let's switch over to up to snuff if you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's
cheers, my dear.
Cheers. Salud.
With my clear glass. Clink, clink. And my buff nails. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I'll tell you about that. But where's my notes? I actually, okay, girl. Okay, we talked about it a little bit before about the fact that Daphne and her mama both were like, what is going on when Edwina is running out of this place? The thing I wanted to ask about is, have you ever been to a wedding when you know the people up there shouldn't be getting married and you're just kind of like, but you can't say nothing because this is their choice?
I'm not going to say anything because they may watch this one day, so I'll be quiet. No, I'm just playing. No, I have not been in that position. And let me tell you, I hope to God never to be in that position. Because I think if anything, Bridgerton is doing this life lesson for everybody. Be true to your feelings. Be true to your feelings. Don't have any misinterpretations of what you think that person is thinking about you. Go ask them. Go ask them. Do you love me? Is this what you want? If not, your wants and their wants don't line up. That thing quick. Don't do that.
Not gonna lie, I watched this episode and all I could think about were the people, like whenever there's weddings, right? Nobody's perfect. Like that's very clear. No one's perfect, right? That means that people will go through different things before they even get to the altar. And so to me, I was thinking about all the people who might be sitting in the pews and how, let's say there was like the couple had like a horrible fight and this is the thing I always think is funny is like when a couple's in an argument and so people know one side of the argument, but then the couple makes up, but then doesn't go back and communicate how they made up. And so the people that learned the story are still in that story. And so when they see they're still mad about it. And so I thought about all of that in this wedding scene, because I'm just like, look at all this. All of this is happening. Y'all have not communicated anything that's going on correctly. And so the people that have some semblance of knowledge, Daphne, who's very clear that this is wrong. And her brother even admitted to her, he's like, I've taken it too far. Like, I can't go back now. And so she's fully aware that he's getting married when he does not want to. He does not really love this woman. And so to me, it was like that knowledge of like when someone knows the truth, but because it's not your place, right? And at the end of the day, it's the choice of the people on the altar that you have to like just sit there and be like, And so in many ways, I saw the scene and saw that in the scene, just that piece of, you got to let people make their decisions, but sometimes those decisions may not be what you know is the right thing for them, but you have to live with it.
It's true.
Wild.
Wild.
Love Daphne and her mother in that moment, because the way Daphne looked over, kind of like, oh snap. She's like, oh, I'm going to just let her go really ran, because she looked at her brother.
Yeah.
When Edwina ran down, she looked at her brother like, what did you do? Look what you did, sir. Yeah, man, it was a good scene. It was a good scene.
And you know what? I feel like Daphne's intention was to try and help her brother when she went to go talk to him before the wedding. Like when she walked in to go see him and tell him, like, you know, are you sure? Like, are you sure this is what you want to do? But unfortunately, like brothers and sisters, there gets the message gets lost in translation. And then next thing you know, of course, the conversation, you know, transitions to, you know, Anthony throwing shots at Daphne, telling Daphne, well, you were always expected to marry into a family. I'm trying to protect the family that I already have. It's part of my responsibility to carry on. And Daphne told him, like, you know what? I am so sorry to have been a burden on you, but let me tell you something. I pity you more than look up to you in this moment.
Mm. 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 Yeah, she did. And I was just like, I said, ooh, like another time I was just like, ooh. I said, well, let him know. I was proud of her for that. And I was also very proud of Edwina. Edwina, this entire season has been like the perfect diamond. She has all the qualities and everything, and she's so agreeable and all of those things. But when she got mad, and finally, I was like, finally, we get to see like how she feels, what she thinks. And also the fact that you're kind of like, oh, okay, Edwina, you're not, because I was worried. I was like, you really don't see this? Right. Granted, I will say I did not see it myself the first time I watched it. The first time I watched the show, I didn't see the level of like togetherness of both Kate and Anthony, like the way that they would, like I always noticed it like when they were by themselves, but I didn't look at it when they were in the room with other people to see how they interacted. I paid more attention to it the second time I watched it, and I was just like, oh wow, they really do. Like anytime they're in a room, they're like always connected to each other. And so seeing like Edwina finally see it after she'd been saying this multiple times, and her sister told her like, don't worry, once the passion like dies, like it'll be fine, you guys will grow together. Seeing, because listen, I'll say this, watching the scene with the bracelet, when the bracelet fell and homeboy left the altar, walked past his bride to go pick up someone else's bracelet.
Stop.
My first thing was just like, oh snap. And then when they scan to Edwina, whose eyes are going,
they fluttered.
When the recognition hit for her, I was like, oh, this is the worst time for this to happen. But I really appreciated that homegirl was like, I didn't admit it.
Like everything hit.
Yeah, I really appreciated that she advocated for herself, and she was like, no, I need a moment, and left to go take that moment and figure out what she wants to do. So shout out to Edwina Sharma for just getting it together. Like, kudos to her. And I really appreciated her ripping into her sister. Like, I felt like it hurt.
Yes.
It hurt, but I was like, you know what? She kind of needs it.
You know what? I feel like watching that episode again, I absolutely agree with you, because when I first saw it, I was just like, oh, Edwina, you're being so mean to Kate. Oh, don't do that. Kate is having these internal struggles. She's trying to be a good sister. And I was seeing it from Kate's perspective. But when I saw the episode again, I was like, oh no, Kate, you deserve this good, clean cuss out. You deserve this one because you did this yourself. You may not have started it, but you were a willing participant. And both you and Anthony took it upon yourselves to make decisions about Edwina's future together and not include Edwina in her future decision making.
That's true. Yeah. They definitely had a meetup first. They were like, okay, how are we gonna do this? They actually did it multiple times. Right, once in the park when she was like, you must marry my sister, you must. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? And then when I leave him, he want to leave, and she's crying in the park by herself. Kate,
I didn't even feel bad for her. I didn't feel bad for her.
Like she made a bad decision. I was like, Kate, what do you? I said, figure this out before this gets to the point. Okay, actually, this takes me to another question that I have, which is, because we talked about like the fact that they're in the middle of this ceremony. She's telling them like he's not, he doesn't look at me. She's still kind of like he refused to make my eye. Like she's like, it's not feel right. And they're like, oh, don't worry. And part of me wonders, is it the is it the title, the access? Is it the monetary gain of this relationship that is willing, like you're willing to ignore the red flags? Like you called out, like there's black flags and all the things that you want. He has none of this stuff, but you still going through with this. So do you think that it's just the status of it that will like overshadow red flags, and that therefore we just gonna keep going? Like I'm gonna keep pushing you. It's always like team Viscountess, regardless of the fact that you're gonna be unhappy in the end. I mean, he'll be cool. Like he'll be cool. You'll be safe, but exactly. You won't have love.
And in the beginning, I think that's what Kate was trying to prevent. Kate was trying to prevent her daughter marrying for duty, and she wanted her sister to marry for love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because of all this scheming, backdoor conversations, and intimate, moments that were stolen, the conversations that both Anthony is having with Edwina and the conversation that Kate is having with Edwina, they're both talking about business transactions now. Mm-hmm. They're not talking about marrying for love. They're talking about exactly what you were just mentioning. It's about security of what comes with being a Viscountess. Not only Viscountess, but a Bridgerton Viscountess. Remember that it is set up that the Bridgerton family is one of the oldest families. Like we're talking about one of the oldest families within the ton that date back. So they're considered old money, as in like they will never run out of money, according to the ton. They have farmlands, they have tenants, they have acres upon acres. So the Bridgerton family is never going to be running out of any type of money. Mm-hmm. But the way they stay in the popularity within the ton is how they marry, right? Mm-hmm. And so through marriage, that's when we come with titles. So the Bridgerton family through generations have come to this Viscount status, right? Mm-hmm. So it is all about the title, though. It is about the security. This, Edwina marrying Anthony will not only financially take care of herself, it will take care of her mom and indirectly take care of Kate. Let's just be honest. Even if Kate went back to India, Kate has a rich sister that is married to a Viscount. And she's married to one of the oldest families within the ton. Like, I mean, that's clout. And not only that, her sister-in-law is the Duchess.
That part
higher
too.
Higher ranking. It's a higher ranking. So remember, all of these marriages are all about political gain.
That too.
The Bridgerton fans got it on lock.
This is interesting. I guess part of that is my lack of faith that you can have both. But they're, yeah, because Daphne, I'm like, you fell in love and the Duke? Oh, wow. That's why this is a story.
But they fell in love after they got married, though. Remember, I told you.
Yeah, you're right.
We had that debate.
The arguments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Lost Files.
Lust versus choice. Mm-hmm. Lust versus love. That was actually a really good argument. We eventually will figure out which episode that was and submit it so people can hear it. Oh, okay. Did you have any questions? Because I think I had another thought, but like, yeah. Did you have any questions?
No, go ahead. Go for it.
I still feel like
great question.
Their Mary was like, I still never got a real sense of her, the mom, right? Because Kate really took on the role of the parent in all of this, like kind of like the focus and prioritizing her sister. Do you think that Mary had any fear in this, that her daughter like not marrying? I guess, did Mary think that this was a love relationship? Did she think that he loved her? Like, I guess part of me is like, did the mom just not know? Right? Because you talked about like even like how she looked in the scene of like her kind of like trying to put pieces together. But it's like, was she just aloof this whole time? Or was she kind of like, I don't know if this is exactly it, but this is really good for you, right? And I don't want you to have a life of like the life I had, where I lost my family, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think was happening with her mom in this?
That's such a good question. With Lady Mary, I think that, yes, I think that there was ignorance is bliss
Mm,
type thing was going on. Because let's be honest, she's raising two daughters. If there's someone that is willing to help her, and it could be the the oldest daughter, to help raise the youngest child while she is continuing to grieve over the loss of her husband. I mean, who wouldn't want to get that help? But I think that sometimes that happens subconsciously and not consciously. Like, I think maybe Lady Mary didn't realize how hands off she has been. Now, let's see, I feel like episode 6 or 7, we're going to get, I think, a little bit more of what you're asking for in terms of more substance about Lady Mary. But for up until this point, my feeling is that I don't think Lady Mary realized how how much offhand she had been within the rearing of her daughters, Edwina and Kate.
mm,
She made sure that the daughters always had access, right? Because that's how come Kate learned how to hunt. Like Kate had access to, a lot of the things that most young ladies of the time have access to, and then a little bit of some. Kate
mhm,
went ahead and passed on that knowledge on to Edwina, right? Which was very beneficial because Edwina was not fortunate enough to have her father present in her life. Why? Because he passed away. So once the father died, that access likely started, receding away. So the mother and the daughter, Kate, were, trying to be full-time parents to Edwina. So, I think that the Lady Mary just had more things on her plate that she was just prioritizing some things a little bit more higher, than, let's say, um, really focusing on how Edwina was being taught about love, about companionship, about connections, and stuff like that. That's been kind of my idea. I mean, like, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt because,
yeah.
I mean, this woman lost her husband. Like, not only was this a woman of affluent status within the ton, she was ready. She was kind of paired up with another gentleman that her parents had set her up with. And she decided to walk away from all of that to get with a man that was a lower station, and not only lower station, but was a widower of a young child.
They
So
don't say if he was a widower. They just said he had a baby. So it's quite
look,
possible.
I
It's
look,
quite
I'm gonna say,
possible.
I'm gonna say Papa Sharma was a widower.
Okay. Fine. We can go with that backstory. How was
Exactly. I'm gonna say Papa Sharma was a widower, but uh I mean, she had went through so much just to get with him, and it
yeah.
sounds like she had some good couple years with him, and then all of a sudden she loses him.
Yeah.
Oof,
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's
What do
it's
you think?
interesting. I'm interested to see what to look at her from this lens going forward for the last two episodes, because I think for me, she was very much a presence, but not really present a lot of the time. And I felt like where was her input? I think I was, in many ways, I'm just like, where are you in, like, having Kate sit down for a minute? Like, Kate, what are you doing? Or even like
Mm-hmm.
recognizing that Kate is um who Kate is and how Kate is, and just, I don't know. I just it felt like there was something missing, I think, in that relationship. And so that's what I was seeking, is kind of like, I kept looking to her and her mom, like, hello, can you jump in at any moment, please? Although she does kick
Mm-hmm.
she does kick Kate out of the room, and I thought that was hilarious.
Oh,
It was like,
she said anywhere but here.
yeah, when your mom says, I don't want to look at you, go find somewhere to be.
Ooh,
That
ooh.
is that's like, I love it. I'm like, in the 1800s we were doing this too. I appreciated it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, we'll come back around to Lady Mary and see what else comes from it. The other things, I guess I'll go with. There's a couple things here. There's really two more. Like one is just the moment of Kate previously stating it during the pre-wedding scene when she says, and I'm gonna take it like pull it out, but it was true love is something else entirely. It's when the rest of the world goes quiet. And then she says a bunch of other stuff. And then she says, until there was nowhere else to hide and all goes silent, essentially. And I, watching it again, realized that that moment happens for Anthony on the altar. And I'm like, oh, snap, this is what Kate's talking about.
It was already foretold. It was foretold.
Yeah. And I thought that was, there's really no question there, but I just appreciated like how well they kind of placed that together. They pieced those pieces together. And also the realization for Anthony at that point is like he'd never seen her, like he'd never imagined that, right? Like he imagined all the things that he could do, all the things he could teach her, as he said. But it was I think for him it was him seeing her in his mind's eye as his bride. We got a glimpse of it obviously in the betrothal ring daytime day room scene, but I think more so this time it was more real for him that like that's the face he's imagining. He completely left completely left the ceremony in his daydream.
You checked out, girl. That man checked out.
And everyone's like, hello.
So disrespectful.
No, it was disrespectful before we got here. You should have told the truth.
She said it was disrespectful before we got here.
You should have never proposed. All right. All right. There's one more thing. I want to, if we can switch gears, if it's okay. Penelope and Eloise.
Okay, so I just want us to be careful about time. And then also, you know that we also have Bridgerton fights. So
I guess we can talk also about them later.
I'm just saying. So
well, okay. Well, here's the one question I will ask. Do you think that Penelope's the one that put it into Eloise's head about Theo? I don't know what I was about to say. Tony. I'm like, whoa, who? Okay. I was about to say Tony.
Oh, God.
No, but do you think that it was like Eloise? It didn't seem like Eloise had any notion. She wasn't thinking about it in that way. She wasn't thinking about Theo in that way. So do you think that it was Penelope's fault that she started thinking about it in that form?
No, because Eloise was thinking about it. She just didn't know how to articulate it. Because one of her biggest issues, she says during this episode, was, I just want to know. It's something that I just need to know. And what does she need to know? She needs to know if Theo has similar or same feelings that she's having for him. Come on now. She just didn't know how to articulate it. Come on.
She wasn't. I honestly don't think she was thinking about it like that.
Because she's not. Go ahead.
I really think her naive is showing more and more for me. And that in this moment when she's like, it's not going to be anything like I think it was probably in the back of her mind, but it wasn't something it hadn't been teased out yet. And so I think it wasn't until Penelope asked her a question about where's this even going to go? And then she's like, it's not like we're going to get married. She's like, who said anything about marriage? And the only reason that came out is because it was something in the back of her mind. But I think for me, it's the fact that she wasn't thinking about it or talking about that. And so I think as a result, it became a realer thought based on Penelope bringing it up. You understand?
I understand. I don't know if I'm sold on it just yet because, I mean, she went to the rally.
I apologize.
Wait, hold on. Did you just check out on me in the podcast?
Sorry. I was trying to check in with the household that I'm in. Because I don't know if you can hear it, but there's tapping on my door.
Open up. Well, we're finishing up. I don't know if I'm sold on it just yet. I don't know if I'm sold on it just yet. We're gonna have to come back on that one.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna come back to Eloise's naivete.
Okay. All right, y'all. Oh my goodness. It has come to the end of our podcast session. This was a good one. I mean, Krystal, when I tell you this was a good one, this was a good one. So that's it for us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at Krystal and Mara. And if you're listening, please leave a review. And we are also, you can also find us on all podcast platforms. We are actually going to be off next week. So we're going to see you the following Friday, July 22nd at 10 p.m. right here on this here YouTube channel.
Hey.
Yay! Bye, everybody.